we are here, Jeremy Knight with the Knight Group at Real, your favorite Austin Realtor. It has been an interesting couple of weeks in the real estate game. I am here to say hello. So today I have a special guest again, coming back on the channel again, Ian Williams, my North Austin guy. Love that guy. Excited to have him on. So he'll be on in a second. A lot of you really enjoyed one of my last videos. So a couple of my last videos talking about the market, what's going on in the market, kind of some things that we're going to see negatively impact the market. And Ian also did a video very similar as well. So check out his channel. We'll bring him on in a second, that copycat. Just kidding. And then the last video I did, we talked about Prop A and Prop B passing. That's kind of where we left off. And a lot of you wanted to know where to live that wasn't going to be affected by Prop A and Prop B. If you remember from that video, I talked about the fact that we are already seeing increasing property values. And we took off a year of increasing property tax values. So we're going to see a huge increase in property taxes this year in general. And then on top of that, unfortunately, we're going to see higher than what people estimated for property tax increasing for Prop A and Prop B. So, and that's all to do with the rail lines that are being, that we voted to pass a couple weeks ago in the election. So, good and bad, very, very expensive. That's kind of the bad, and it's going to really tax homeowners. The good, we finally might, hopefully, fingers crossed, get some good transportation in Austin. So I'll bring Ian on in a second. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through and we are going to look at the areas outside of this. Now, this was a challenge to find based on the bond that was passed, or the prop that was passed. It was kind of a challenge to find what areas were not going to be included and not what areas weren't going to be paying for this tax increase. And the why it was challenging was if you go off of the city council map. Let me bring this on. Ian, I'm going to give you and bring you on in a second. Hold on. Oh, there you go. There's Ian. Say hi. Well, let's do a little intro to Ian. Ian, welcome to the channel again, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. As always, I appreciate it. I'm not copying you though. Maybe a little bit. Maybe, you know what? You have good stuff. I think it's, we raise up together. I think that's incredible. So I am. It's flattery, I think, is what we call it.
Yeah. Well, what's good about being two YouTubers in the same city that talk about the same things is that you get two awesome people to bounce ideas off of. And so that's why you're back on the channel. I appreciate you, man. So we've both seen this Prop A passed, and I kind of did a video talking about kind of what I saw going to happen with this and the taxes. You saw that video and said that you're going to probably do a reaction video to that. Give me an idea, your thoughts on Prop A and B passing, and what you think they might actually happen in our areas.
So the first thing I want to say is the market's been so crazy, and we've both been working with so many people and just trying to keep up with daily lives that I've personally suffered on putting a lot of videos out. So I haven't finished that video, but I'm so excited for it. So I think that's the one where I'm going to reference your hair. It's going to happen. Right. I'm like, how's my hair? And do the thing. Anyway, and I think I have to come in saying Austin's second favorite realtor. So anyway, I'm gonna make it good. All that to say, the thing that matters is, and we've talked about this, how far the rail lines go that they're going to be creating. Because a lot of people think, oh, Austin, great, we need more public transportation, but there's a cutoff to that. That's only Austin proper, and the lines are still blurred. So that's part of the discussion today, is trying to figure out like what those lines are even, and how it benefits people that are outside of Austin, because it still will. But this is an Austin tax, Austin proper tax. Let's not be mistaken about that.
Yeah, and I think that's been the challenge, because if you looked at, and I'll bring this up here, if you look at the district lines, which encompasses, into Avery Ranch, Brushy Creek, which encompasses part of Manor, some outside areas. But then you have like these ETJs. So if these aren't part of the tax, then this is an awesome place to live, right? You're not in any of the tax district. But if they're going off of if they're going off of Travis County, which I know this wasn't a Travis County thing, if you look at those lines, then it covers all of Manor. It covers a lot of things. And I reached out to quite a few people to kind of figure out exactly where the lines are drawn on this. And nobody's really like given me like kind of a definitive answer. I mean, what have you heard, or what do you think's happening?
Well, I think I'm going to agree with you saying that if it was more clear, I think you would have had a different vote. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I think people would have voted differently, specifically because, the more you understand, the perspective starts to change. And the fact that it's ambiguous, I think speaks to what it is we're getting into. I have no idea. I know that there's going to be more transportation, but the lines again are so blurry that it's a little concerning. But I want it to be better. I do. I want us to have a good public transit system. I think that's going to help with the jobs. But if it doesn't, like, let's say we're assuming that it's going to go straight to the Apple campus and it doesn't, well, that's going to make a lot of people really upset.
Yeah.
That's the later part of the conversation.
Here's what I was looking for. So, this is, I guess, where I think, my biggest problem with this word, and we're going to find, and for everybody that's just jumping on now, I apologize. We're kind of going over a little bit of the Prop A stuff, Prop B stuff. We are going to talk about some of the great areas and suburbs and places to buy in to kind of hopefully avoid some of this, but we kind of have to go through kind of the minutia of who is affected and where it's actually going to be. So stay tuned with us. I apologize for taking a minute to get to that, but here's the map. So it does have, so if you look at the legend, which my degree is in geography, so I love maps. It really was, and meteorology. So potential future extension. So that bond really only covers, well, the red line's already there, but it's only covering kind of this newer sections and out to the airport. But then even then, it's not even the full amount, right? It's 20, they're saying 45% of it or something like that was going to come from the government. So, and that's not even, confirmed, but, if you're going out to Colony Park or somewhere out this direction, you're great. But these future lines do go into Manor. So is Manor actually going to be paying part of this? Right. And that's, again, that's the question that we're trying to figure out here is this goes up to Parmer, part of Parmer goes into Manor. So do people in Manor going to be paying for this? And if people are, paying for this in the future, but they don't get the lines for a really long time, then that's also kind of a negative thing, right?
It is. And I just want to point out that this map does not look like it's to scale. Like
it is not to scale.
Okay. Because I'm thinking Manor and Hutto are not that close together.
Cartography. See, Aware Penguin knows what's up.
Nice.
Cartography is life. So that was fun. Back in my Arizona State days. Don't tell anybody. So that's, I think, where we're both kind of confused. And I actually reached out to quite a few people. I actually had somebody reach out to the mayor of Manor for me. So hopefully we'll get a response on that to find out, what part of Manor is actually, because that's the thing is like a lot of people, the most affordable places to purchase right now are in Manor, Liberty Hill. I don't think Liberty Hill is going to have to pay for this, but you do have the red line that already goes up. So
it stops before it hits Liberty Hill.
Right. So Liberty Hill's not even going to get it. So Yang Chen asked about Liberty Hill. You're not going to have to pay for it probably in Liberty Hill, I don't think, but you're not going to get a rail line up there either. There might be a bus route, but who knows? So we're going to jump into this. I just want to, say thank you for the comments already. Hello, our north suburbs like Round Rock, Cedar Park, Leander affected by this. We are going to talk about that because that's a very good question.
Absolutely.
And then due to the issues, do you see migration to Jerrell? I think developers are going to see that they can build more in Jerrell. So you'll probably see more development out there for sure. It's where the developers go is where the money goes. So
there's already a lot happening that direction. I think it's kind of a sleeping giant in that respect, right? Because you can still get houses for under 200,000 in Jerrell, where for Williamson County, that's pretty reasonable, and so that's a lot more reasonable than somewhere like Liberty Hill, in most cases. And it's also a hub line, and I say hub line because it's along 35. So I-35 you can take from Dallas to Mexico, and Jerrell, you stop right along there. The downtown's right along there, just like Round Rock and some of these other places. So yeah, I think Jerrell's going to end up being, the halfway point between Temple or Waco and Austin. So Jerrell will end up growing, I think.
Yeah. Look, Liberty Hill's growing like crazy. So places like Jerrell that are kind of waking up and they're going to see migration out that way. Manor is another one that's been growing like crazy. Let me pop in my thing here. Full screen. Oh, did it again, man.
Part of Manor's success, I think, is because of the fact that it's on your way to Houston and near the airport. So you have both of those as a benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And prices have been lower, more so than some of these other places as well.
And if you're looking at this map that I have posted up here, this 130 area, kind of where Tesla's going to go like right there. So Tesla would be affected by, if you're going off of this map. Now, if you go off the Travis County map, that encompasses all of, and let me see if I can pull that back up, county. If you go off the county map, then it's definitely they're definitely going to pay for it.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up, right? Because there's the city map and then there's the county map, and there's a little, it's like an iris or pupil inside of the big eye of Austin.
And so, part of, I was talking to somebody, I was talking to Melissa today, Melissa Hudson. Melissa, I thought you were coming on. Where are you? And she's saying a lot of the areas in Manor are City of Austin utilities. So, how much is Manor going to be affected by this? And this is one of the questions that somebody was asking me about Prop A. So let's, so there you go. If, I think parts of Pflugerville, if they do go off of Travis County, I'm giving it away already.
It's too soon.
No,
it's too soon.
Too soon. Okay, there you go. All right. So I think, if it is going off of the county, then yes, Pflugerville into kind of like Southern Round Rock will be affected and have to pay for part of this. In fact, the rail line, which we put up there, actually had part of it going into Pflugerville. So, yeah. So, all right. So here's what y'all wanted. You wanted to hear, and why you're here is the places outside of this area. So I tasked Ian with coming up, we did that North versus South Austin video, and a lot of you love that. If I had the playback to play right now, I would take you back to the part where Ian said all the cool people live south. So
that was a little bit, it was a Freudian slip.
Freudian slip.
Like I might've meant it a little bit, but not a bit or something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So I tasked Ian. So what I did is I tasked Ian I was going to do a full video on this myself and pull up this information, but man, it was so time consuming, and I was really trying to figure out kind of what is and isn't in this boundary. So we're going to go off of Hayes County and Williamson County. I tasked Ian with coming up with the best areas with lower tax rate. So we're going to try to find things under 2.6 tax rate that are good location of downtown. You're going to hopefully be able to get some of the benefits of the rail line a little bit. And our lower tax rate, you're not going to really be affected as much by the huge tax increase that we're going to see on this. So, Ian, you want to go first? You want me to go first? It's basically a North versus South. So
yeah. Well, I mean, should the winner go first?
Yeah, so I should go first.
That's not where I was going with that.
All right, man. I'll let you go first. Am I still on? Here we go. Add to stream. We'll add you on. All right. So I got Ian. We're gonna let you go first, man.
So I'm gonna start off with this one. This is so I pulled up an address that is it's Round Rock near Forest Creek. And a lot of people have heard about Forest Creek because it's a golf course community. So that's one. And the school system has a certain type of rating according to greatschools.org, things like that. But here's the secret sauce. The secret sauce is that it has low taxes. And I don't know why that is, but I'm happy. The tax rate here is about 2.1 in this area. And if you've heard anything about Round Rock, Texas, this is pretty good. I would say generally a lot of these other areas hover around 3.1. So you're saving almost 1% annually on taxes, property taxes.
Wow.
So, and what's interesting is, so you see this road right here, 79.
Yep.
Okay. 35, that's the one from Dallas to Mexico. 79 right here. The Kalahari, I believe, is right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go with here. Let's go with right here. So the Kalahari is right here, and it is the number 2 employer in all of, I'm going to say all of Round Rock. I'm not going to say all of Austin, but it's a very, very large employer.
Yeah, we should talk about that in a future video, you and I, or you should. That's a good video for you. So for people who don't know what that is, can you give the fans an idea?
Oh yeah. So I'm originally from the Chicagoland area, and I kind of sat in between.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. I sat in between where Chicago and Milwaukee met. I was like smack dab in the middle. Well, whenever we would go vacation, we would go to a place called Wisconsin Dells. It's like the equivalent to Schlitterbahn here in Austin, right? So Wisconsin Dells. It was seriously just water parks, and you could only go 3 months out of the year. Anyway, the best water park there was called the Kalahari. And what made it cool is it was everything was African themed, and it was an extremely large indoor and outdoor water park. So you could almost do it all year long. Well, fast forward to November 12th of 2020. So what was that? 3 weeks ago, Kalahari just opened in Round Rock, Texas, right where I'm pointing here. And it is America's largest indoor water park. And why that's important is because they did a study of what are called staycation cities. So how many people can drive here within 3 hours and stay for a weekend? And so there are 14 major metropolitan areas that Kalahari services.
This
anyway,
is cool.
I could keep talking. I listen to all these presentations about it, blah, 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 blah. All that to say there are a lot of jobs. America's largest water park. It's going to increase our travel. What do you call it when people come visit? Come on.
Tourism.
Tourism. There you go. It's going to bring in a lot of money for tourism. At least to Round Rock and Williamson County.
This is cool. All right. So Kalahari, if you weren't aware of the Kalahari, it is up there in Round Rock. So that's cool. So what did you say the tax rate was for, where were we here?
So for
Forest Creek?
For Forest Creek, it's like
Rock.
The 2.1. 2.1 I believe is what it is. Yeah. And most other places in Round Rock are about 3.0, 3.1.
What are the price points in that area?
Well, so I pulled this one up because it's exciting and it's about average for this neighborhood.
670. I remember like 4 years ago when you get a house in there under 450.
Oh yeah. And you can still find it. You can still find a 3.2 for that price. They exist, but they're there for literally 2 days and then they're gone. And they're probably bid up.
Yeah, for sure. Everything. I mean, let's be honest, our market right now, if you're a buyer in our market, it is not the funnest market to be buying a house in. Even if you're a homeowner here and now, it's great. You sell a home, you get $50,000 over list price, but then you got to go bid $50,000 over list price.
That's the part people miss.
Yeah. So I think that's partly why we're seeing such low inventory. is because this, and I have a video I'm going to be putting out coming up talking about 2020 in the next 2 weeks. And we're going to talk about the one thing I keep hearing from everybody. I get this question all the time, and tell me if you get this question. Yeah. So when's the dip coming, or when do you expect the dip for next year to start?
So I made a video on this, and I would say I got more likes than dislikes. Dip is relative. I'm really weird with this. I feel like there is so much incoming traffic to Austin, including the amount of jobs coming to Austin, that the dip will be more like one of those tiny little inverse speed bumps. It won't even be a dip. It'll be like a bloop. And then we're going to keep coasting here while the rest of the United States, or most other places in the United States, will feel the impact. We just have so much traffic coming here. I don't know how you can, I don't foresee the type of dip that other metropolitans experienced in 2008.
Yeah. I have a lot of data that I've put together for the video I'm going to do. So I don't want to give away too much because I want people to be able to watch this video. But the challenge that I'm seeing is that there are too many variables that point to very little to no dip. Because we're seeing, record low inventory, right? At some point that's going to give. Everybody's expecting for this foreclosure bubble. There's still a lot of protections out there. Interest rates are so low. So people are, instead of losing your house to foreclosure, you can put your house on the market and sell it. And those are selling $50,000 over list price. So if you're in trouble now and you're putting your house on the market, well, you can get out of trouble within a couple days, because you and I both know all of our clients are putting $30,000 to $50,000 over list price. And it's a bloodbath.
That's a good word for it. Yeah.
So, all right. So let's get back on the track here that everyone came to see. My turn.
Can we grade it? What would you grade that? A 9 out of 10 or what?
Forest Creek. It's great because you're going to get, Forest Creek. I think you're going to get a nice property, maybe not brand new. It's going to be a little bit older.
It's not a resale community. I'm sorry, not a new build community at all.
Yeah, not a new build community. That's not what we're really going for. But I think the area is fantastic. Location's good. So, if I had to rate it, I'd give it and look, I go by the Dave Portnoy 1 Bite Challenge rating. So I'll give it like an 8.2. It's pretty good.
An arbitrary number.
Hey, it's what would make it.
That sounds like South Austin talking.
What would make it better if it was in South Austin. Let's just be honest. All right. So, all right. So I am tasked with going to South Austin. And so I found some really good spots that are in Hayes that are not Austin proper. And so the first one that really I want to talk about, I've actually sold a couple of homes in here. It's why I know about it. It's called Legacy Trails. And so Legacy Trails is in Dripping Springs. They do have some new inventory there. Everything in here is kind of like on 3/4 acre or higher, which is great. Like this one I have pulled up here, 4-bed, 3-bath. The price is going to be much higher, obviously. This is at $679. At one time, there were homes in here right at $500,000. Not anymore. But this neighborhood is 2.26 tax rate. And you're really only about 50 minutes in traffic to Austin. And you're in Dripping Springs, which Dripping Springs has great schools. I'd bring them all on here, but you have Dripping Springs High School, elementary, and I think middle, all in this neighborhood. In fact, does it tell me nearby schools? This is off my website. Some of the information here is a little lagging, but Walnut Springs, there you go. But 8s and 7s, good rated schools. So I think, it's a quiet little neighborhood as well. It's not a very big neighborhood. If you're looking at Legacy Trails, but you can get a really cool brand new home if you want a brand new home. The only disadvantage is it's Village Builders by Lennar. If you saw my video about which people really kind of didn't like as much as I thought they would, but on worst builders, I gave Lennar kind of a lower grade, and Village Builders is part of Lennar. So
can I tell you a secret? I just learned this.
Go ahead.
Village Builders is being absorbed. So is Cal Atlantic. There won't be anything else except Lennar next year. That's all it's going to be. That's
unfortunate.
So they're just absorbing it all into the portfolio, and it's just going to be called Lennar. So it'll be difficult to differentiate what was one thing versus another.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of clients buy Lennar. I just think they can be a headache. I mean, you'll get a good home, if you buy a Lennar home, you'll get a good home, hopefully reasonably priced. In this market, that's the challenge, is finding something reasonably priced. But I mean, look, there's not a ton of options out there. So, all right. So we're going to go back up north. So that was Dripping Springs. I like Dripping Springs for a ton of reasons. This is really close to the Dripping Springs downtown. My favorite coffee place in Dripping Springs is Mazama Coffee. You can reach out to me, Mazama, for a paid endorsement. I'll take it. Really good coffee, though. All right, I'm gonna so what would you grade? I know I didn't go too deep into the community because I want to keep us running here, but what would you grade Legacy Trails?
What was the tax rate there?
2.26. Which is crazy because a lot of the little neighborhoods around there are like 2.9, 3%.
Right.
And Dripping Springs to be high. So then the prices are high. So yeah, 697 if you bought in there, which there's other homes that aren't that as expensive. This is the first one I pulled on. But if you found a house there for 550, in that area that's not Legacy Trails, for 550, your tax rate is going to be closer to 3. Calaterra is a good example of that. Great community, probably one of my favorite communities, Calaterra, which is right next to that, but it is a little bit higher, 2.92, 2.97. And then my favorite community is High Point. So High Point's not on this list tonight, so I can talk about it. So there you go. Give me your rating.
There's so many elements to the rating system. I mean, what's the amenity center like, right?
I don't think they actually have an amenity center.
Boom, 6.8. I can't spend $500,000 on a house and not have a swimming pool down the street,
Yeah.
Now, having a swimming pool in the in the backyard, that's a whole other conversation.
Three-quarter acre lots, you can put a pool back there.
Right. You can put it in and have your own and not, get all germy with other people. So
Jeremy?
Jeremy night.
All right. We're heading Ian back north. Tell us what you got.
Okay. This one is another golf course community. I swear I'm not choosing these, but here's the thing. I remember when I first saw this a few years back, I remember driving by wondering how I ended up there. You ever do that? Like, wow, where did this place come from?
Yeah.
It's right next to, well, not right next to, but close enough to Lake Georgetown. So if you're into boating or into any kind of water, this is a nice smaller lake. It's not like Lake Travis. The price points are a little higher, but you can see that house sitting right here. 6 beds, 7 baths, almost, 6,500 square feet. Here's the killer. So golf course community. So you can hop out of your front yard and go play around. And it's 2.02 tax rate. 2.02. And the HOA is $120 a year. It is $12 a month.
Okay. I like that.
That's incredible. Good. So you're paying it's a little bit of money on for the property itself, but you're saving it in property tax, you're saving it in HOA, and you're getting a good portion of land, and it's they've got gated sections and all that. It's a gorgeous community. Gorgeous in Georgetown. So I also want to point that out.
What was the name of the community again?
Cimarron Hills.
Yeah. I like that one. I do like that one. We've actually had clients. I think I have a client writing a contract this week in there, actually.
Really? It's funny because they always try to stop me. They have a guard at the front and they see, it depends on what car I'm driving. So depending on what car I'm driving, if I'm taking my big ugly truck, I'm starting to drive through, and you see them lean out like stop. Like, no, I'm not stopping. I'm just I'm going on through.
I had clients one time go to what's the golf course where they do it's right on the lake. There's the Barton Creek golf course.
Yeah.
Or the so they do all the and so I went to drive in there in my truck, and I was showing clients $2 million properties, and they were like, whoa, stop, sir. I mean, I'm always wearing a polo and shorts and flip-flops, and so I didn't look. I looked like I was going to go golf, kind of. So they didn't like that very much. They stopped me. I had to show them, and then they wanted business cards, and you know me, I don't carry business cards. I don't need that. So, kind of interesting stuff there. All right, so any other information you want to give around Cimarron Hills? Rebecca, by the way, joined. Rebecca said 2.02. That's close to average here in Dallas.
Listen.
Rebecca, nobody wants to live in Dallas. Okay.
I was going to say, what does that mean? Everybody's leaving there to come here. I don't know if they are. They're not.
Yeah, just kidding.
People go back and forth. I think Dallas it has its spots. That's what I'll say. And it has you.
It has Rebecca. Look, hi Rebecca. Yeah. I've tried to love Dallas. Just haven't found the love for you. Moving to Dallas would be better than Austin, a bit cheaper. You know, I can't argue with that, Jesse. I mean, it might be a little bit cheaper, but you're also closer to Tornado Alley.
You can move to Iowa if you want to be cheaper.
Georgetown is South Dallas, Travis. That is correct. Why did you write no? That was very true. Thank you, buddy. Here, come here, Brayden. Come here. Oh, look. Say hi to everybody. My son brought me a drink.
I was going to say, we only see the background.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, where should people buy homes at? Austin or Dallas?
Austin.
There you go. See? Kid knows what's up.
I like how you said it as a question. You should have said North or South Austin.
Yeah. Hey, Brayden, come back. Coming. Crazy kid. Okay, come here. Hurry. You can't hear Ian. Hold on. Come over here. You can't hear Ian, but he's asking what's better, North or South Austin?
South Austin?
Oh my God. You typed it on your screen. You saw him look over. Like,
move to Manor. Yeah. So that's a good one, Maria. And that's what we've talked about at the beginning of this, is that depending on where you are in Manor, you're probably going to be hit with some of these taxes from the rail line. And so that's kind of what we kind of threw Manor off of this list, just because it's kind of up in the air where exactly in Manor is going to be covered in here with this additional tax through Pop A. So, Whisper Valley. Love that neighborhood.
Same.
I just hope that because their tax rate's low. So I hope they're not really in that tax, because that would be, I'm going to do a ton more videos in there. In fact, I might we've talked about actually buying an investment property there. So, good neighborhood. Okay. So what else did you have for Cimarron Hills? Is that where we were at, Cimarron Hills?
Yeah, I didn't click on any of the pictures or anything, but it's an incredible property, an incredible neighborhood. It just, like I said, the fact that it's a golf course, it's enclosed, so almost all the streets are private.
Well, show them that house. 1.69.
I'll pull it up on my website. Right, I'll do it. Gotcha.
Rebecca, do you have any cool houses like this? I'm on a juice cleanse, by the way, too. Shout out to Jaylee Juice. No paid endorsement. It's free.
It's like you're outside, inside. Love it. When your house has a dome.
That is cool.
Yeah. It's like standing in the state capitol. I love houses with theaters in them.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you would call this, but this is incredible as well. So it definitely has a lot of character, a lot of space. I mean, when you have almost 7,000 square feet, you figure out something to do with the space and you make it look real good. You have more bathrooms than bedrooms.
All right. Well, I got to take this back because it's my turn now.
Well, then the reason why I want to bring this up is because if you look at this price and you go to almost any other major metropolitan, are you going to get a house like this? Right? So let's say Dallas. If you were in Dallas, how far out do you have to go to get a house at that price, a house like this, and how much are you going to pay for it? I know in California, this is a 3-bed house, 3-bed, 2-bath house.
Yeah. Well, in California,
In New York,
you
same
buy a shack
thing.
for it depends on where you are in California too.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
All right. I'm up. All right. So we're staying in Dripping Springs, just because we can. And so there's a neighborhood I love here. Yep, those prices do look high. So this is Howard Ranch. Here's so Howard Ranch is really big lots. Actually, it's right next to Twisted X Brewery. So you can walk over to Twisted X, grab a ton of beer, and then walk home. But these are really big houses on really nice lots in here. They are not cheap, but it is a fantastic community. Why is it the same picture over and over? So I pulled up this listing right here that's on the market right now.
I like that.
Look at that pool. I mean, 1.39, so a little bit cheaper than your house that you just had in Cimarron Hills. This is a 1.96 tax rate in Howard Ranch, which is fantastic. So if you want to go to the website, here it is. It's just howardranch.com. You can pull up the information there. Look at all the cool local stuff. But I mean, you can get a cool house like this in this neighborhood. I love the pink and purples. Look at that. That's crazy. But yeah, 3,600 square feet. Look, you got your barn right there for your bus, so you can do your family vacations where you strum around the country and be a family musical band. This is really more Driftwood than Dripping Springs, but it's still like right at the edge of both. So maybe not necessarily Dripping Springs, but isn't that like, this is like the American home right here, isn't it? Isn't that like, if you have America, like this is it right here.
It's getting really, really popular. In fact, I think they even had the flag on the front on the second.
They did. Right. Yeah, look at that. That's smart.
It's like a doily, though. It's not a flag.
I wish I was their realtor. I would have told them look, they have American flag on there too. So they got it.
They colored the house to match.
That is, but look at this. So almost a full acre over there, but 1.39 million. Schools, still same schools, Walnut Springs, Dripping Springs High. And look, you're in the same schools. You could be, $500,000 less and be up in Legacy Trails. So, or you can be over here in Howard Ranch. Yes, I know you're saying, gosh, they're giving us such expensive homes. We got some other communities that aren't as expensive, hopefully, right?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Right.
My next one is more reasonable.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So I'm pulling this up. So we're just over 600, and this is.
Oh, sorry. Where is this one at?
So this is Brushy Creek, which you hear a lot of. It's specifically Saul's Ranch, which I believe we've talked about before when we did the North versus South, and you said, I really like this neighborhood. And well,
I do.
Anything in Brushy Creek, most people like. And why is that, right? There's lots of reasons. So I pulled this house up. It's just a shell of a house, but it shows how close you are to the trail. But here's the real kicker. So $80 a month HOA, that's a little bit. Price per square foot, that's pretty low. But here's the real one. Look at that. You see those? What's that number?
I can't.
You can't see it?
No.
I didn't know if you could see it. You can't see that? Okay.
No.
All right.
Schools. Look at that. 10.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's one of those little pocket neighborhoods that people, if they can get, it's almost anywhere in Brushy Creek. And somebody had mentioned Avery Ranch. It is Avery Ranch, essentially.
Yeah, right? That was back up here. Igor. Sorry, Igor. I wanted to get to this question, but I knew Ian was going to talk about this. So thanks for the stream. I've just moved to Austin and planning to buy a house in Avery Ranch. What do you think? I think Avery Ranch and Brushy Creek are probably the nicest, in my opinion, of the North communities. Just location wise, I love Brushy. I'm sorry, I cut you off again. Brushy Creek. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good. You're good. But so the whole point of this conversation was to talk about the transit, right? And how it might affect here. So this is just outside of Travis County, but, and I don't know where the line goes for the metro, but I know that it comes along here, and this is where your Apple's going to be. So your Apple's going to be building their new campus over here as well.
They're building it now, right?
Well, that's their third one, but yeah, they're building their third one to open in May of 2021, I believe, depending on how that one situation causes things to shake out. You know what I mean? The thing we cannot name.
Oh, right. The Dirty Sea.
The Dirty Sea. I think every time I hear you say it, it's something different.
Yeah, I've made it like it's 15 different names now.
Yeah.
I mean, Rebecca joined back. She said 30 minutes close to the lake. There are several homes off the lake in Rockwell. Okay. Oh, if you go to Frisco though, $1 million homes. I love Frisco and Plano. Isn't that called like Billionaires Row right there, Rebecca? Mm-hmm. Most of the new headquarters are in Plano and Dallas area ways, so people actually commute into downtown like Austin. Yeah, commuting, traffic. That's why we're talking about this is traffic, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
There's not as much traffic in Dallas as I've driven in Dallas. Okay, that is a lie. That is a lie. Rebecca, you can't come on here with fake news, okay?
Where does it snow more? Where does it snow more?
I think it's where the 10
days is what kills. Like you can take the best traffic area as soon as snow hits and people aren't used to it. It just changes everything.
Look, Rebecca, right here. Moving from VA for Virginia and Austin is better. Right here, Zank says it, but right here. I mean, he knows that. Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. So we were talking. I apologize. I keep cutting you off. All these good comments. Who knows?
So I was actually born in Virginia, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Nice.
So I've been there. I left when I was like 6 months, so I don't remember it much. But VA, does that mean you're Navy or something like that? One of the armed services? I guess I'm curious. So yeah, I hear that's that's another one of those areas where the cost of living is much higher than Austin. And so that would be a really good transition.
For sure. So where were we at? So
what do you think?
Brushy Creek. What do you think
about like greener than Dallas, Jeremy?
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
Rebecca, how do you feel about that? You think Austin is greener than Dallas?
Well, Rebecca wants me to have Rebecca and I were going to be doing a Austin versus Dallas video towards the end of the week on her channel. So look up Rebecca Valeria. How do you say your last name, Rebecca? I've already said it like Valeria. Okay, I got it. I nailed it.
Valeria.
But yeah, so I'm going to be on her channel on Friday, and we're going to do a north versus south. North. We're doing a Dallas. I mean, pretty much North Austin is Dallas. So so North Austin versus South Austin, Dallas video. Anyway, so okay. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. People are probably getting frustrated. They want to hear more about Brushy Creek. I like Brushy Creek in general. I've had a lot of clients buy in there recently. There's a lot of really great little neighborhoods in there. In my opinion, I do like Saul's Ranch that you brought up here. There's also you're probably going to talk. Do you have Mayfield on there?
I don't have it on there, but I love that neighborhood as well. There are a lot of Highlands at Mayfield
right.
in general. Avery Ranch, Saul's Ranch. Yeah, there's a lot over here.
Yeah, I like Mayfield Ranch. That's another one that, I think the reason why we didn't have it on here is this 2.82 tax rate. So there's a golden nugget for you. But yeah, you can get a nice house there in the mid fives, but you're avoiding that Austin Prop A B tax, but at the same time, you're making it up by being a higher tax rate. So that's why Mayfield Ranch isn't on here, but great area.
Right.
So Maria said that she's surprised that it'll be that it'll affect it. Yes, it will. Definitely parts of it. We only have a Walmart out here. I have it on good authority that you're getting an H-E-B. So
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
I have it on
and
good authority.
what we were talking about earlier was how far north will it start to cut off where you're paying that additional tax? And I want to say this line here along
45.
Neil, that's kind of where I see the property taxes change over to where you're paying you have an Austin address, but you're paying Austin taxes and Round Rock taxes, and then you can cross the street, like you can be over here and you're just still paying Austin taxes even though you have a Round Rock address. So like we had talked about earlier, I think that might affect your property taxes. Prop A from Austin might still affect your property taxes. So it is along that border here.
Yeah, and if you go off of the district actually goes up over to the left there. Yeah, on the left side of your screen. I pulled it down, otherwise I'd show it to you. But just on the where 620, 183 meet there in the corner, on the north side of that is still part of the Austin district.
Mm-hmm.
So not all of that is, but a majority of it. So Avery Ranch, part of Avery Ranch is going to be in that too. Yeah,
right.
There you go. I wish I could cursor your screen, but that left side that you're looking at there, pretty much, what's that north-south road right there? Is that Palmer?
Yeah, Palmer. Yeah.
So the left side of Palmer is Austin still. So
you know how I know you've been here too long?
Yeah, because I just call it Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a video for another day. You should not be telling people to move here. Oh, here. You should not be telling people to move other places. Austin made its bed. All the surrounding areas should have to lie in that bed too.
You know, it's interesting because I think what I'm seeing is people want different things.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of people that are very much, I want to be in Austin proper. I don't care what the price is. I don't care about anything else. As long as it's in Austin, I'll buy it. I'm like, okay.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to have to give, that was Saul's Ranch you had on there. I'm going to have to give Saul's Ranch like an 8.4. I think it's a good area. So I'm going to jump into my next
good area. And you gave it an 8.4. What is that?
I mean, the schools were 10s. I gave it. So this area that I'm pulling up here is going to be Big Sky Ranch. Big Sky Ranch is Dripping Springs. It's right next to Legacy Trails. It's 2.15 tax rate. What's great about here, these are all new builds with Meritage, but you can get a home starting at $299. So people were probably wondering when we were going to get to actually something a little more affordable. Yeah. They have some smaller square foot homes in here that are in that low 3 range. Here's what I was trying to show you. So, yeah, it's right. See, look, you're really close to Deep Eddy vodka tasting. Why that's no, but so it's really close to the downtown area. So pretty much everything downtown Dripping Springs is right in this little corner spot. You can actually see it where all the yellow is. Why won't it let me cursor? Anyway, so this is all kind of the downtown area. So this little spot right here next to Founders Park, there's a really cool park here, the pool. This is all, this whole section right here is Big Sky Ranch. But, I mean, you can get pretty decent homes. Meritage, I think on my video I did with the builders, Meritage, I think I had 2 stars in there. I don't think Meritage is a bad builder at all.
No, I don't either.
I think it's a good builder. I was confused of why they had it on there. But I've showed clients this neighborhood before, and this is definitely a good spot to be. The tax rate's low. You could get, homes. You can actually, there's a 400 plus range in this neighborhood as well that are bigger floor plans. This is like the 1600 floor plan, but they have another section in there that'll be in the mid 4s. So you can get a 3,200 square foot home in this area. So good tax rate. If you don't have to be close to downtown, 2.15 tax rate. You're still in all the schools, good schools. In fact, let me pull up. Oh, it wouldn't let me pull up anything on my website. But I think this is a good option for a lot of people because you can get a nice 2,000 square foot home in the 350 price. You're close to downtown. You're walking distance really to downtown Dripping Springs and all the fun stuff there. There's an H-E-B right across the street there. So boom, 1010. That's a 9.8 right there for you.
9.8. Is it because of the price?
Price point. I got you under 400. I got you a 2.15 tax rate, 45 minutes of downtown. Really probably not that long in traffic. Dripping Springs, which is one of my favorite cities. I personally would, if I'm going to move out of Austin, it's either going to be towards Brushy Creek or Dripping Springs are my two next destinations.
Wait, did you just say?
Yeah, I did. That's
North Austin. Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Hey,
right.
I'm open.
That's good.
All right,
should
so
be. It's a good spot.
We're gonna give you the floor back. Let's see. So you gave a Big Sky Ranch a 9.8. So
anything close to that. It seems all right. I go back and forth when it's only new build, right? I like new build communities, but not everybody does. So you can't just automatically say 9.8 and we're good, because some people say I want big trees, and you're not going to get that.
Look, hold on. Look, there's lots of oaks in this.
Look at how little. No,
yeah, but this whole area is surrounded. No, this whole area is surrounded in big trees.
Oh my god!
It's just they leveled a lot of it to make this neighborhood.
That's just a Photoshop.
Photoshop.
It's not a real sky, and those aren't real trees.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only reason I pulled this one up while we were waiting, is because somebody had commented about Jerrell specifically. I'm going to say it's a little bit of a hike. So it's about 30 minutes to downtown Round Rock, right? In Jerrell. So, but this gives you very, very affordable at $245, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. Modern design. And Jerrell is right now, like, this is it. It's a blip, man. But it's a blip on the way to Temple. So you've got Temple and Belton here, and then you've got Georgetown and Round Rock here. So if somebody else put Lockhart, move to Lockhart. This is kind of like your Lockhart cost, right? Except it's along I-35. So if you want something to be a little bit away from the city, but still have a nice property and kind of modern, this is new build, a lot of new build communities in here, but still a very small town feel, then this could be an option for you.
Jerrell is definitely a small town feel. We've had clients buy in Jerrell.
Yeah.
It is a hike, especially from South Austin.
It is a hike.
It's a hike for you in North Austin.
Oh, it's a hike for you. It is. It's a hike for me. It's kind of crazy, but you got to think, everybody's got to think about their situation. I've had people call me and say, I want to buy a house for $300,000 tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, well, where? And that's going to dictate where that is.
I think that's let's be real with people for a minute here. I mean, we're always real with people on my channel, but
yeah.
If somebody calls you right now and says, I need to buy a home, I want to be 30 minutes from downtown. I want to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath plus 2,000 square feet. Where can I find something under 300?
Yeah. I'm going to say you can find it easier south than you can north. That's a very accurate statement. Or when you start getting into, like you said, Manor, far east or far west, Lago Vista is another option, or far north. But in the city, you're looking at a 1-bedroom condo, right?
Yeah, you're not going to find, under 300 close to the city. I mean, I think the biggest challenge that most of my clients, and I'm sure all of your clients are facing, is that under 300 is just almost unattainable right now.
Yeah, there are a few. So I'll give you an example. There's one in Pflugerville right across from the lake, and it's a pace setter. Do you know them? I know you. Why would I ask you that? Anyway, so for other people that may not know who pace setter is, so they build, they have a 2-2. So it's a single family home, but it's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-story home. And they have one for $280 right across the street right across the street from the lake in Pflugerville. So that's another area that's growing pretty well. And it's a good opportunity for people, but it's a 2-2, right?
Yeah.
While that might not be bad for the person moving in, I always coach my clients to think, what is your plan when you go to sell it? Always.
And so, I was just having this conversation with a client today. in my past videos, I've made a really big deal about buying in new build communities.
Yeah.
And then future problem you run into is that you're going to have to, at some point, if you're going to have to list a home within 2 to 3 years, at some point they are now your competition if they're still building in the neighborhood, right?
Right.
So if they're, let's say a neighborhood's 5 years from building out, you buy a home and you're 3 years into it and you got to sell and go somewhere. Now your competition is the builder, right? They're going to cut better incentives. They're going to be, most people are going to go in and they're going to go, oh, look, I can pick out what I want. I'll wait 3 extra months to build a home. Now, the challenge, and I think where our market is going is, I think, I used to make kind of a big deal about that, but builders are very slow at building right now. Prices are drastically increasing, especially with the cost of lumber going up and all that jazz. And then there's no inventory in general. So the prices are going up substantially.
Yeah.
Like,
there's another thing in there.
I feel like you don't even have to worry about that anymore. Like, I don't think it's as big as a worry as it was maybe a year ago, because you might go against a builder 2 years from now if you have to sell a home, but their prices are already going to be sky high and higher than because they're artificially appreciating their prices, right? Every 3 months they're increasing their prices or they're doing bids on things. So maybe now, not as much as maybe a year ago, is that such a problem where you're going to have to worry about, going up against a builder. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that a year ago specifically, that was a really tough time when I'd have listings that were in a neighborhood where they're still building in. It's really hard to convey that value if your house is a cookie cutter. And you know what I mean when I say cookie cutter, but a cookie cutter house. Like, it looks like everybody else's house. What did you do different? You didn't do anything different. So if you didn't do anything, because you've only been there 2 years. So if you haven't done anything different and the builder's selling the same exact house, it might have a higher sales price. It might be $30,000 more, but they're going to pay your closing costs and they're going to pay for this and they're going to get, well, then it's really the same price. Right. So people, they get caught up in the new build train, even though, you might already have upgrades in this other house. It's hard to convey that value.
Right. Yeah. Nobody really wants to come back in and repaint. I mean, here's the thing is, if you're going to buy a home and you have kids, you're going to get that 3-foot high smudge all the way around your house, because kids' little fingerprints are going to be all over your walls, and then you're going to have to repaint. I see a lot of
bed. If you have a bed without a headboard, greasy head.
Yeah.
Wall, I love that.
I mean,
I don't know if you've ever.
it's usually the feet, the toes that touch the wall that end up being the problem. But greasy heads could do. So I want to keep going and go over some of these neighborhoods that we preloaded in here. We do have more. We've got a ton of questions, so let's pop through the questions real quick. And then we'll jump in. I mean, I got time if everybody else has time. So Pima Sherpa said, what do you think about Treviso and Leander? You're definitely not going to pay the Austin tax, but the tax rate is much higher there.
The tax, that's it. It's right there.
2.97 or 3%. It's really high.
Yep.
I think Treviso is a great neighborhood on its face. I think it's a great
face.
It's a saying,
Is it? What does that mean? Explain.
So it's great. It's a great neighborhood if you look at it and you smile at it. But at the same time, if you look behind it, there's a huge tax rate. So if you bought a house for $500,000, now you're facing the builder thing that we just talked about. They're still building, and you're going to sell after 2 years. The property taxes are going to be higher. So then it's a challenge to resell. That's my only issue with Treviso. Other than that, I think it's great. Rebecca, yes, she's correct. She says we are correct. It is more beautiful in Austin than in Dallas. There you go. Look, she even says I agree with you.
We knew that.
No, for Lago Vista, prices are too high there. I don't know that they're too high.
No, they're not too high. I'm going to tell you the problem with Lago Vista in a second.
Oh,
right. Whenever I get the screen, which it doesn't have to be now, but I'm going to pull that up.
There we go. What is it?
All right. So I'm pulling up Treviso. I'm going to tell you the problem.
I thought we were talking about Lago Vista now. Let
Let me do the Treviso thing real quick. Here's the problem with Treviso. People that want to know. This is 1431 University. And I'll actually cover them both at the same time.
You can, yeah. Look at that.
1431. And then over here is Lago Vista. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom out. Austin is here. So the problem is if you want to get from here to there, you have to go around the lake. And you have one road to do it until you get about here. Then you can go down. So if you're in Lago Vista, I'm not saying you're landlocked. It's like a reverse, like a peninsula almost, right? You're kind of landlocked in here and have to go around before you can go down. There's no way across the water.
Right.
So if you think that you're moving to Austin and you move to Lago Vista, you're looking at an hour and a half minimum. I mean,
I think there's an airport there, so you could fly to Austin.
You could fly if you've got it like that. Get one of those. I don't.
Do they have a Tesla helicopter yet? The Tesla helicopter's got to come out soon.
It needs to. I almost bought a helicopter off of eBay probably 15 years ago. It was a long time, and it was one of those that people, like a lawnmower engine style. I never bought it. It was $5,000, and I thought, man, this would be so great. I probably would not be here talking to you today if I did. So
yeah, I've flown helicopters in the past. They are very tough to fly. Yeah, they are. Helicopters are much tougher. I have my pilot's license as well. Remember going back to the good old days of Jeremy, pilot's license, degree in geography, meteorology, and now a realtor selling homes. Nice. Okay, so
I've only got one credit toward my license, my pilot's license.
Oh yeah, I got my VFR and was halfway into my IFR before I realized it was too expensive. All right, so what? Are there homes under 300K in Hutto? That's actually becoming a challenge to find anything under 300K in Hutto.
It is. Well, so there were a couple things that popped up. Someone said the same thing about Lago Vista. So you can find houses in Lago Vista pretty easily at 250, 300,000 plus whatever the buffer is for the market, right? So kind of the same thing with Hutto, which I believe I had here somewhere.
Yeah,
Round Rock, this one. So this one's a little higher because it's out in the middle of nowhere. But look at that land, right? So this is in Hutto, but it's almost 4 acres.
Yeah, but that's not under 300K either.
No, it's not. It's not. It was one that I had up though. I had it up.
I love when they ask 300. No, here, let me show you a $2 million house in Hutto. Here, expectations crashed.
Square foot though.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's what matters. No HOA though. Look at there's a post. Somebody just said, Dina just said that's the most expensive house in Hutto.
It probably is the most expensive house in Hutto. I'm trying to pull up Hutto. Yeah, 224, 293, 365. That's over 204.
It's pretty easy to get a house out there for less than 400.
Yeah, less than 300.
What was the price?
300.
Target 300.
300. Yeah. I'm pulling up. Let's see. Let me pull my screen back. Add a stream. There you go. Yeah. So if you're looking here, Hutto 220.
Yep.
226, 275. Oh, there's the one you brought up, 685, 398.
I like the number.
Yeah. I like Hutto. I really do. I think it's growing. It's definitely a good spot. I thought about buying investment property out there. So I'm always looking up investment
for
property.
a minute. They were talking about, like, there was the question whether Tesla was going to be in Del Valley or in Hutto. Right? If they would have chose
Can
Hutto.
Can you imagine what that would have done for Hutto?
Well, what that would have done for North Austin's rating versus South Austin.
Yeah,
then there would have been nothing in South Austin except the cool kids.
If Tesla had gone to North Austin, we would have just said, "Hey, look, why would you move to Dallas when you can move to South Austin?" So,
when you can move to North San Antonio,
North San. Man, that's actually all right. You got me there. I don't have a good comeback. Commute from Steiner to Domain. Steiner's one road in, run one road out.
Yep.
So Steiner's a great area. I love Steiner, but you do end up running into a problem. Here, I'm pulling it up.
I was doing that same thing.
There
Steiner.
you go. So here's what I'm talking about. You have one road into Steiner, and if you live down in here, there's like 2 traffic lights. Then you got to get to the light up here. I would say if you're going to buy in Steiner, I'd probably try to buy in this north end. Look, 994. But they also have a new build community right up here, which is Village Builders, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Well, the builder. It looks like they don't have any inventory right now. That is crazy.
It is.
You can buy this house right here for almost 6 million. But I would say so the problem is if you're going to get to the Domain, you're going to have to get up to 2222, come down to 360. 360 always has traffic to get here. It's a hard drive. I mean, you can do it. It's going to be a 40-minute drive, 50-minute drive in traffic. So that's just I
was going to say, let me have the screen for just a sec. Just a sec. I promise I'll
okay.
get back.
There we go.
So I pulled it up on Google Maps, right? So I always do the navigation, and I'll choose depart at, let's say, 5:00 p.m. That's how you get your number. That's your bottleneck right here. So from Steiner Ranch, I just chose a steakhouse, but really you're going to be down in the neighborhood. Delicious food, by the way. So from there to the Domain, this is what you're looking at. 20.
Yeah, that's not even driving through the neighborhood, which could take a while.
Right. So the neighborhood itself is another 5 to 10 minutes, depending on where you're going in the neighborhood. In fact, we can just take that and do this whole thing. Boom. Bumped it up 10, 15 minutes.
Yep. It's crazy.
And again, like Jeremy mentioned, where else are you getting out?
You're not. That's the problem. You're not getting out at all. All right. So building in Bee Cave for 2.76. I love Bee Cave. God, I've said I love so many areas. Bee Cave is really great. I'm biased. It's more south than it is north.
It is.
2.76 before prop base, still overall price cheaper than LA. I agree. 100% agree.
What's the property tax in LA? Do we know that?
Yeah, I think it's 0.08%. 0.08%, but it caps off when you purchase. So when you purchase, like if you buy a house for $1 million, that's where they cap it off, and it doesn't increase from there.
Okay.
I think there's some stuff going on where it might be increasing soon, but yeah, so that's where they stop it at. So it is cheaper, but the taxes, I think what they're talking about is that you have income tax in there. So income tax on top. So if you have $1 million home, it's subjective. $1 million home is going to have higher property tax.
Well, and the HOA, like, aren't there always higher really high HOA there?
Yeah.
And then, you've got the prices, and then you have a real estate sales tax.
Sorry, my son's sneaking in here.
Oh, okay. So every time you buy or sell a house in California, you have to pay an additional 1%. Is that not correct? Where you don't have that in Texas.
I don't know that they have that.
So I know that Texas is one of 13 states. I don't know if California is one of the other states, but just thinking of the spectrum, I would imagine that California is not one of the states. Real estate sales tax, 1% every time you sell. Which is
I didn't
huge.
know that.
That's huge. And then did we talk about the escape?
I sold my house in San Diego in 2012, and we didn't have an additional tax. So, but I could be wrong.
And did we talk about the escape tax that they were talking about?
No.
Where if you leave, they would retroactively tax you for the next, let's say, 5 years. So if you left California and came to Austin.
Yeah, I bet people are trying to leave before that. So
right.
Pima said best time to buy a house right now. I mean, there's no inventory, but I wouldn't wait. I mean, interest rates are so incredibly low.
We just refinanced again just because we could. Like, everybody's refinancing. I saw a note today that was 2.37 or something is a possible rate today. It's just insane. So
Crazy.
we just locked 2 days ago.
What do you think about Bluff View over Treviso?
Treviso is incredible. I don't even know where Bluffview is. Where's that?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got the higher taxes, but the view, if you can get a lot, if you're into the way things look aesthetically pleasing, Treviso is a very pretty community for sure. But the thing is, a lot of these places are. People don't realize that Jeremy, you being geographer, the topography in Austin is incredible. All over. In Bee Cave, in Georgetown, in Lago, in where Treviso is, Steiner Ranch, all of it. It is gorgeous, gorgeous on the west side.
not North Austin.
No, and north and west. Georgetown, man, I just
maybe Brushy Creek.
Brushy Creek. A lot of these places.
Georgetown's nice. Yeah,
really nice.
Maybe not Round Rock.
Also east, over here by Walter E. Long, over where it's not Pioneer Hill. What is it?
You're talking about. Sorry, I have Rebecca's comment up there. Over by the lake, you mean?
Yeah. Come on, we talk about this all the time. The community over here, the DR Horton one.
Oh, something station.
Yeah,
Parker Station.
Parker Station. There you go. So this is gorgeous. It's all up on a hill. It's a really pretty drive all throughout Austin. It's really, really nice to look at. So
yep. Okay, so let's keep going through there. 500. Are there schools over Bologna, or are they that good in Plano?
Plano.
Rebecca, yeah, Frisco, Plano. I think this DAC said they're moving from Frisco, moving to Frisco. Austin is not a city for people who punch the clock. That's not.
Is that like a travel dig? Like people, if you work from home, you're good?
I think it is if you're an hourly person. Like if you work hourly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
When the prices be higher in Lago due to lake access, I don't think they are, because I think it's got to be pinned. If you're on the lake, probably higher, but not if you're close.
Yeah. The other thing about Lago is that it's all rock, right? So you want to build anything, it's kind of a hassle. Like you have to level it and stuff. So it takes builders a lot of work.
Yeah. Hectic Energy. I'm gonna put it on my my community tomorrow post. Hectic Energy posted one of the best comments I've ever seen on my comments, and it's they said something about me and Rebecca. Oh, I took us off here. Hold on. Said something about me, not Rebecca, me and Katie Day. We did a Austin versus Houston, and we were really getting after it in there. And they wrote that it was one of their favorite things. We should go on the road as the night day. Something it was
oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, day night. Yeah. All right. So here's the question. Now I think this is the question that most people want to know, right? Most people that we talk to.
Good question.
I'm looking for a house. I'm looking for a house for 380 to 450. Where do I look at? That is becoming the tough problem. I mean, I think that is where I think if you can find something 380 South Austin, if you're looking in South Austin, like there's a community called Malone with Lennar. It's a brand new build. It also depends on how much home you need. But I think Malone with Lennar in South Austin is a good one. Going even further south, Buda Kyle, you can definitely find something in that price point, a very nice home. What would you say?
Yeah.
Or like southeast Austin too, the Goodnight Trail, all that area.
Yeah, you've talked about that one. I like that area. So that's for south. For north, I would say there's no doubt that going somewhere just north of Cedar Park along Leander, or even this Georgetown on 29, both of those are going to get you houses in that price range with easy access to places like the Domain, Brushy Creek, and a way to get into Austin, multiple ways to get into Austin if you need to go there.
Charles, thank you, Charles, for coming back to the stream. Hadn't seen you on a couple. Charles has several times talked about Georgetown. Where would you say there's a neighborhood Eileen keeps telling me about in Georgetown that's a really good neighborhood? I'm going to text her so she'll see.
Well, I like Morningstar is as a neighborhood there. I like Rancho Siena. I've done lots of houses there. Bryson, there are a lot in Georgetown. So when you start something like Valley Vista, that's only one builder, but Rancho Siena has a bunch of different builders in there. They're starting to build out though. That's the thing. Like they're starting to run out of land. But you can get houses right now. I just did one today for $398 right here with Chesmar, ironically enough. So it's very, very common to be able to get a house in that price range here, and a beautiful house, beautiful with topography, sun setting in your window, that kind of stuff.
I'm trying to think of the name of that, but man, we had a lot of comments on here that I just totally missed. Dina Davis said that that's the most expensive house. Yeah, it is.
I said that a while ago. It's not. I have a listing that's coming for probably 20,000 more than that.
Wow.
Next week.
Hutto's a bit run down. I mean, I think Hutto's growing.
It depends on where. That's like all these. They're pocket neighborhoods. Like, you ever heard of the Delionaires?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a bunch of Delionaires out in Hutto.
I bet. Okay, so going back to the tax thing, depends on, starts at 0.9. Their municipalities will add on, Burbank is 1.175, then add sales tax and income tax. Somebody asked about sales tax usually, where was it? Leander has train service to Austin. Will it be taxed as part of AB? I don't think it will be. And that's because the line is already existing. They might be charged for the maintenance of the line. So that might be something.
Another note about that, 2 years ago, the mayor of Leander was trying to get rid of the rail.
I bet.
Ridiculous. That makes no sense. Like there are a lot of people that take that rail into Austin for work. I mean, maybe not today, but they were. So a lot of people rely on that. Why would you remove public transportation? Oh, anyway.
So Martin asked, when does the California escape tax start? I've heard about this. I have family that lives in California. I don't know when they're actually going to do that, or if they're actually going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like what we did with Prop A and B, where they put it out there and, it's going to take enough people to say yes. It may take enough people to say yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one of those things. And they might hide it as, do you want your roads improved? Right.
Yeah.
And then they sneak in there. Oh, but we're going to do this in order to get the funding to do that.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going to say where the money's coming from, which is your pocket. Night and day. So you should change your last name to Night or Day, and then we could do our live stream every week. Just, the Jeremy, Ian, Day Night.
Change my name though.
Yeah, you don't want to do
that way. Otherwise, I'd probably. I mean, if I was going to do a regular stream with somebody, Jeremy's one of the top tier people.
I'm the Joe Rogan of the real estate world now.
I don't know about all. You can't say you're the Austin's favorite realtor and the Joe Rogan of the real. You can't be both.
I'm not going to smoke cigars and talk politics on my channel.
I don't think
so
those
there
are
you go.
cigars.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them are. Maybe some of them are.
Yeah, I don't know. Why not Round Rock, Pima? I was just joking about Round Rock. It's just more flat, especially the further east you go.
There's one hill in Round Rock, and I'm on it.
Yeah, he's the king of the hill in Round Rock.
Yeah. So and I think what Jeremy was talking about earlier, if you look at some of the neighborhoods, most neighborhoods have a higher tax rate than a lot of other places, and so you have to be real careful what taxes and what HOA fees you're paying.
Right.
And some of the neighborhoods, like, and this is everywhere, you could have a neighborhood like here thinking that you're in Round Rock, you have a Round Rock address. Oh yeah, there you go. So you have a Round Rock address, but then you're in Hutto School District. And that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just means it catches people off guard.
I think that's the problem with the way this Prop A is kind of why we're having problems coming up with properties that aren't affected by this additional tax, is because things are obscured. If you're, you could be in Travis County and still be in Manor, right? So if Travis County, if it's all of Travis County for this tax, there you go. There's, that's a good example. Like if you're in Austin, you could be in the Del Valley ISD. Right. And so you're in Austin, but you're in the Del Valley ISD. And I think that's the biggest problem with this tax. And I researched for hours on where the boundary lines really were, and I couldn't find anything on it. Like there was nothing really. And I searched for that. And that's why I had you come on, is because I couldn't figure it out. And I reached out to people that know more than I do about certain things, especially with this tax stuff. And I was like, tell me more. Do you know? And they're like, nope, can't tell you, don't know. Yeah. And it was so ambiguous. And they're like, yeah, it's just ambiguous. I think it's meant to be ambiguous. So
we got a lot of tax questions.
Yeah. Ooh. Afro-capitalist. That's actually really
what a name.
That is a cool name. I like that. Can you give an example of how much Homestead helps with the high property tax? So the way that, and I'll let you jump in on this, Ian.
Sure.
The way the Homestead is, it caps what they can actually raise your taxes per year. So it does give you a little bit of a cushion, but it also raises it. It stops where I think it's either 8 or 10%. I think they tried to pass 8%. So you can only go up that much. But if they're adding a new tax on there, I don't think that has anything to do with it. So let's say they say your house is $500,000 this year. Next year they say it's worth $600,000. They can only raise the amount that you're paying 10%. But if they're throwing a new tax on there, they can throw the new tax on as well. I think this is where people kind of got confused when they did this, is because they thought, oh, it's just everything. So the Homestead will help, but you're still going to be paying both of those taxes. You're going to be paying the increase, and then you're going to pay the increase, but you're going to be paying the property tax value off of the $600K for the rail line fees, right? They're not going to go off the value of $500K. They're going to go up the value of $600K. And that's going to be even higher. And I think that's why I was trying to really, I don't think maybe I didn't do a very good job of explaining that, but yeah, Homestead. So Homestead, you want to file your Homestead if you haven't at the beginning of the year. They don't let you file it the same year you purchase. So if you bought in 2020, you can't Homestead until 2021. If you buy in 2021, you can't file your Homestead until next year.
It's wherever you live in January.
Correct.
1st. Wherever your house is in January 1st, then you can put the Homestead on that. So, and just to piggyback off your point, so it caps you at the 10%, but it also does capital gains. It decreases the amount you have to pay for capital gains, I believe is how it works, right? So like it might drop at 25,000 or something like that from capital gains, which is good if you're selling a home or selling a home, buying another one. So it can help you there. What else were we talking about? There was something else that had come up in there. I think so. Well, yeah, everybody who doesn't have a homestead, it's free. Put it on your house. And it only applies to your primary residence too.
Right. If you buy investment properties,
that's the other thing I want to mention. So the reason why this is so important is there were a lot of people that were in Austin. They paid, $80,000 for the house back in 1984. And, they were living in it. They were paying their taxes. Shoot, that house could probably be paid off at this point. But then when you start having some kind of gentrification going on, and you have, $1 million condo next door, these houses are being torn down. Well, you're automatically raising the property value in the neighborhood. And so they're assuming that the taxes are going to increase. And these poor people that were living in these houses that they paid $80,000 for, and their property tax annually was maybe $1,000. Now they're like, okay, well, your property tax is going to be $8,000 a year. Come up with it. And they're like, wait, what? Why? Like the house didn't change. Why is this changing? So and that's because they didn't know or weren't educated enough to have the homestead exemption on their primary property.
Yeah, and I think it's something as realtors, I don't know if every realtor does this, and I know you do it, but everybody that buys a home with us the following year in January, reach out and let them know, hey, now it's time to homestead. Don't
I do.
forget to homestead. I know you do it, but there's a lot of agents that don't. And so, and you know, there's a lot of agents that don't really, I don't want to say that they care more about a sale, but they don't really explain to people in detail about how property taxes will affect them moving forward. I think this has been a problem I've seen for a long time. Again, I'm not saying, you know, look, I've had clients that I've like over and over and over said, this property tax is terrible. Don't buy here. They still did. They still got a great home. And, you know, but they weren't shocked either when their property taxes came out. They're like, yep, okay, we knew this was going to happen because you told us. And I've had people that have come to me that their last realtor didn't say anything, put them at a 3% tax rate. They weren't planning for it. They didn't have the funds set aside to anticipate that. And then boom, they're hit with a $13,000 tax bill. And they're like, what the F?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And can we talk real quick about new builds? I don't think we've talked about it today.
Go.
Just the fact that if you get a new build, you're generally being taxed on the land. I saw somebody who was getting a home built in Bar W. Beautiful area. Yes, right across from Rancho Siena and Leander. That's great. You're buying a house. Let's say it's $400,000. Wonderful. They're only going to tax you at maybe $100,000 or $200,000 because that's what the land value of the property is for the first year. So your first few payments are going to be looking great. And then once they have the assessment done next year, you're going to get hit with the real bill. And your property taxes are they're going to go up enough to where if you're not expecting it, it might cause a small palpitation right here.
Yeah.
Little one.
Yep. Yeah. And that's something that I've had clients, we've had to fight their property taxes. In fact, one of the questions on here was, aren't there law firms that file the homestead exemptions? And what do they usually charge? It's usually, so there are, I'm actually working on doing a video with one and getting you a discount for using them too. So there's companies out there that'll do, like they charge you 30% of what you save. So if they save you $800, they charge you 30% of that $800.
Yeah.
So, and if they can't get your value down or get that down, they don't charge you anything. So.
Well, there are two parts to that question. There's the file the homestead, but then there's also protesting. And I think
protesting, that's what I was talking about. Protesting.
Yeah.
No, you have to file your homestead exemption. I don't think that they do it. You file a homestead exemption with the county that you're in.
And
just
it's
go
free.
online and do it. It's free. So yeah, don't pay for that. Just like if you get something in the mail that says you have to pay for your deed, it's a scam. You don't have to. They give it to you.
Always call your realtor and ask, do I pay this?
Yeah.
Take a picture with your phone, text it
If
to
it's your cell phone, if it's your cell phone bill, definitely don't call me for that. Pay that.
Yeah.
If you get a deed in the mail and you're like, why is it saying that I need to pay $200 for a deed? It's usually like $20.
Yeah.
You're being scammed. Okay. My realtor was awesome and sent me the homestead form. See, smart. I hope I was Hectic Energy's realtor, but if not, congratulations on moving to Austin. And I will work on that night-day thing we talked about. I wish we could have a clear understanding of the border that would be exempt from Pot Bay. I think that's the whole. I literally spent 3 hours today calling people because I had done research for this video a week ago, and then we went on vacation. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Ian. And I was stressing out trying to get a video done for this, and we were going to do this. And I couldn't do it. Couldn't find anything. And so I went through and I looked at, if you're going off of just the county districts, which I showed at the beginning of the video, I look at the county districts, or the city districts, that's one thing, but then it's ambiguous to where it actually goes. Mm-hmm. So Hectic Energy is in Houston. I'm sorry.
I know, right?
All this smack talk. There you go. I know you were talking smack. I appreciate you. Man, we got some good ones in here. This has been a good one today. All right, so we can keep rolling. We got people watching, so might as well keep rolling. Let's hit a couple more. Keep your questions coming and dropping them in the comments there. We'll keep getting to them. I'm trying to, there's stuff that's kind of redundant, so I didn't want to like hit everything in here. There was one more question about Treviso. We already did talk about Treviso. You could catch it on the replay. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do one more south and let you do one more north.
Okay.
And I think we should wrap up from there.
All right. Yeah.
Sound money. All right. That's you. That's me. Okay. So I, keeping south, where's my, there we go. So the neighborhood I want to talk about next is actually in Buda. It is. So if you're looking at the map here, come on, Jeremy, man, it's so fast. Okay. So coming down, what's nice about coming into Buda now is if you come this back way, the 45 extension gets you in there pretty quick, so you can avoid 35. But there's a new neighborhood called Carpenter Hill. It's right here in this section. These are all the prices for Carpenter Hill, but it's on this side of the street. I don't know why. I think it's how they do it. It populates wrong. But you can get a really cool home in here. 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,200 square feet for under $5. Right. This is an actual inventory home. Mm-hmm. These are nice lots. They're going to have good amenities. HOA is only $420 for the year. The tax rate's 2.52. So a little bit lower tax rate. It is a little bit higher, we were trying to stay under 2.6 for this video, but 2.52, and you can get a really cool home in there. So I think I've had a couple clients look in this area. If you're wanting to be in Buda, it goes to the new high school. So, this still says Hayes High School. It's not Hayes High School. It's actually the new high school. So it goes to Johnson High, which is literally right down the street from it. Dolstrom and Carpenter Hill, both rated 7. So decently rated schools. But the high school, that's weird. The high school is Johnson High School. I don't know why they pulled it to the wrong one. So Johnson's a new high school. That's a really good spot to be. If you're wanting to be close to that 45 extension and be downtown in 25 minutes or less, I think that's a really great option to be in. Ian's up. Oh wait, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
So it's the tax rate thing is where we were focused on, right? So this is another one where it's a 2.02. So basically a flat 2% tax rate annually. And this is just to talk about Houston for a minute. They're at about 4%. I think I remember Katie saying 4% tax rate, right? So this is a 2% tax rate. And it's on 1.2 acres. It's almost 4,000 square feet. This is another incredible home. And it's listed at $775. That's a little higher than some of the numbers that people were posting earlier, but you're getting, quite a bit for your money. And the thing is, we haven't touched Liberty Hill. I wanted to do one in Liberty Hill. I did Georgetown. I did Hutto, and I just kind of Round Rock. I wanted to move around and show that there are really low tax rates in the area, low HOA fees, prices fluctuate. So another really, really cool. Let's see if I can give you a map out here. All right, so right along Leander Cedar Park, the rail stops here though. So this is if you're okay driving a little bit a ways from Lake Georgetown as well, and 183 takes you into Austin proper.
Here, so. I like that area. I think you're in the right spot. I think I got a better one for you coming up next. We'll go one more if you got time. Okay. So here's the question. I asked people that lived in Manor if they saw the Prop A and B on the ballot, and they said they did. So that's the problem that we're running into, is I don't think it's very where the lines were drawn for this. We don't know. And I think that's been the biggest problem why we're doing this. I've said that like 6 times now. This is actually a really good question. I hadn't thought of this question this way. Do you think property prices will drop as construction costs go down? I don't know that. I think they are going to arbitrarily keep prices. They're going to reduce the amount of inventory. If costs go down, they're going to reduce the amount of inventory they put out so they can keep prices moving up. That is what I would imagine that they would do. So I don't think that property prices will necessarily go down. What do you think, Ian?
That's real tough. I think the builders just play the market like realtors, like everyone does, right? They play the market. And so if they don't see a reason to drop the prices, why would they?
Right. I mean, they don't make money. I mean, the other thing is they don't make money if they don't sell homes. But It is interesting that they are reducing in a time when there is a little inventory. I would think they'd be cranking out and getting more people in those properties because we do have so many people moving here. Maybe not Houston. Maybe not Houston.
The other thought I had on this is what I could see them doing is instead of decreasing the price, they'll probably increase the incentives.
Right. Exactly. And even right now, they're decreasing the incentives. There's no like a prime example. I had a client buy in a neighborhood a month ago, and a new build to be built, and they got $15,000 towards interior upgrades, right? Because the way most sorry, I was trying to get that off. The way most builders work is that you have your base price, and then they'll give you $15,000 towards your cosmetic upgrades, but you still end up spending 30, 35, 40, maybe more. And so you're still paying the difference in that, right? So they were giving $15,000 a month ago. 2 weeks later, I brought somebody back to that same neighborhood because they wanted the same thing. And guess what? It was only $5,000. So builders are reducing their incentives like crazy. A lot of times they'll give you incentives for using their lender. They're not giving incentives for using their lender anymore. It's like $3,000. They're not paying title policy, which title policy, depending on the price point, is going to be $3,000 to $5,000, depending. Probably less than that, $2,500 to $5,000, depending on the price point. But they're not even paying that, but they're giving you closing costs. So basically, they're barely covering that for using their lender, who's going to be higher fees to begin with. Mm-hmm. And that's why we always have people use an outside lender and get pre-approved with an outside lender before they even go look at new builds. Number one, you want to know what price you're going to be in. Number two, if you get down to that point, you can have that outside lender help get those price. My hands are too far away. Get those prices down that the other lenders' fees are. Competition, right?
I have a video on my channel called Sales Price Doesn't Matter. And it talks exactly about that kind of stuff because I think people don't, I think it's important. It's important for people to look at those numbers. There's all those other numbers. Sales price is there, sure, but it's what you're going to pay monthly. How much is your lender going to charge you? What are your closing costs? All that. What do you have to bring to the table? Yeah. So I think those are good points.
Okay. There was a good one. Thanks, guys, for the info on the homestead tax. I have been living in my house for the past 2 years and was not aware of this. Ooh.
Go copy that in Discord. Let's see what that does.
So I would look at the tax district that you're in now, go to the CAD, right? Either TCAD, HCAD, whatever. I would go to the
that's a question too, by the way. Someone asked how to do that, how to add the homestead. Or see
so you can go to your CAD, right, and pull up your address, and it'll tell you if you actually have a homestead on the property. Whatever realtor sold you the home, have them pull it up on the tax record for you too. But I would give the tax if you're not aware, if you don't have it now, I would go to the appraisal district and reach out to them now and say, hey, look, I've had this property for this amount of years. Can you retroactively help me with the homestead and get a reduction for the 2 previous years? I've had people do that. I don't know if you've had people do that, but I've had people do that. That they didn't realize that they had their property taxes were out of control. They never protested it. They went back and found out they didn't have a homestead on it. So they went back and put the homestead in place. So you can do that. Yep. Right here. Marty said the same thing. There you go. Thanks, Marty. You just said the same thing I did. Thank you. You can go back a period of time. So What did you have, Ian? You look like you had something going on.
Oh, I pulled it up. I was just going to pull up like
Gotcha.
the WCAD, Williamson County Appraisal District.
Yeah. Williamson County. Yeah, since we're talking about Williamson and Hayes. All right. So let's barrel through some more of these questions. What about new developments in Buda or Georgetown? We actually just talked about a new development, Carpenter Hill. Some of the ones in Buda, there's another one. Oh, Kyle's a good one. Kyle has 6 creeks. Add a stream. 6 creeks, which is further south. 6 creeks is 2.16 tax rate. So this is a little bit further south than Kyle, or than Buda, but definitely not too far. I would definitely look into 6 creeks. I think you can get a really great property in here. There's Coventry Home, Highlands Home, MI, Perry, and the prices aren't crazy either. You can get stuff in the 3s in here. So I would look at 6 creeks. I think this would be a good spot to look at. And they are doing community pool. They're bringing in a new elementary school. So 6 creeks. I actually did a video on my YouTube channel about this a while ago. You can actually find it on there. So that would be a good one. What about Georgetown? What do you think? What would you say?
Well, I was talking about, obviously there was the Morning Star that I had mentioned. Oaks at San Gabriel is another one in Georgetown, where it's fairly reasonable tax rate, really pretty. And it's along, major road. We're along 29. So not far from the lake, good walking trails. Everything about it it's a nice community. So, and it's reasonably priced right now. You can get houses in there around the 400 range.
Okay. Yeah. So I think people had a lot of questions about this, so maybe we should go back to it.
Sure.
So they were saying about the Homestead. I will let you pull up. Did it show? So you can put go show.
Yeah. What I did is I pulled up Williamson County Appraisal District, because anything that's north of Travis County is going to be Williamson County. And then all you do, I'll actually go back to the main page. You click property search up at the top here. And you can put in an address. And I'm just taking one that we got from the website that I was looking up earlier. Right. So it shows whoever the owner is for the property, the total improved value, and then how all the taxes are broken up. Oh, look, there's your tax rate. It's really good. There we go. And then if you wanted to create a homestead exemption, you can do it there, but it shows your exemptions right here. Very simple.
Perfect. And it's the same thing. It's very similar to the same thing for Travis County, for Hayes County. I think Hayes County is a little bit harder to use, but on Travis County, it's the same thing. You just go in there and you can pull it up and you can look to see what your exemptions are. I love Hectic Energy. Very true to the name, Hectic Energy.
It is.
A lot of great energy. Let's see. What else did we have in here? Their number you can call and email. So this is the question, Tony, that sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say back to the Prop A and Prop B, like this is where we were talking. We don't know what entities are going to be impacted by that. So here's an example, Leander ISD. I don't think that matters to Prop A at all or Prop B, right? But if it's an Austin one, then that might.
Right. And I had, I pulled up on the map earlier and unfortunately I closed out of it. But let me see if I can find it again. There wasn't a clear-cut line, because if you do look, there are some areas that are Austin, but are not covered in, like, there's 10 districts to Austin, right? So they weren't covered in those districts. So if you're in an Austin district, like you're in district 8, 10, whatever, then yeah, you're going to have it. If you're in an ETJ, so an outside of the Travis County zone, there are pockets that are not. So that's the question. If you're in one of those pockets, and I'll pull it up here in a second. If you're in one of those pockets, do you pay the city tax? If your address is an Austin address, are you taxed? Do you have that additional tax? And I think that's where there's some confusion and why there's a lot of questions on this channel about that, is because there wasn't. Let me pull this back up. I'll let you chime in and talk there. I'll pull this up.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, so one of the questions says homestead cap loss $0. Does that mean I have a homestead exemption? So my answer to that would be, and help me if you think I'm off with this, Jeremy, but that means that you haven't hit the cap, and because you haven't hit the cap, you haven't exceeded that there's no delta, right? So you have a homestead, it hasn't increased more than 10%, so you're in a good position. Now, if it was going to increase 11% and you had a homestead in place, then the loss, I would imagine, would show 1%. That's how I look at that.
I'd have to Google it.
Right. That's a semi-educated guess based on things I've seen in the real estate world, but that doesn't mean it's correct. And I'm not a tax advisor. Always check with your CPA. You gotta disclose that kind of stuff. People start taking our word as gospel sometimes, and it's like, well, no, we're good, but we're not CPAs.
Just a quick Google search. This is in 2013 in Collin County, but it says your residence homestead is protected for future appraisal increased in excess of 10%. Exactly. It doesn't say what that's a homestead. Yeah, cap loss. I've never seen that on there, so I'll have to do some research on that because I haven't seen that before. So, look at that. Tony sent me $5, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What? Hey, that's awesome. That's the.
Can you go on my channel and send me $1? I want $1.
Yeah, man.
God.
That's awesome. I've never seen that on my channel. I appreciate that. That's
the
first. Tony, you are the first, my man. You know what? With that $5, I'm gonna buy you a beer. That's awesome. I think, I'm going to put my email in here. Looking Glass. I'm going to put my email in here. Shoot me your address, and I'll look it up for you. And I'll let you know if it has a homestead or not. So there's my email address. Shoot me an email, and I'll pull it up, and I'll let you know what I see on there. Cap loss. I want to say what you just said is correct about cap loss. Mm-hmm. Your residence homestead is protected from future appraisal increase of excess. Yes. So yes.
10%.
Yeah, there you go. So yes. So cap loss. Don't buy the beer in Travis County. There's a beer tax.
Yeah, come north to Williamson County. You're good.
Yeah, we're gonna go out to Dripping Springs and have some Dripping Springs vodka. Yeah. So there you go. There's the answer to that. So I'm pretty sure you do have a homestead on there. That's definitely helpful. I didn't have any more neighborhoods. I tried to stay with 5. Did you have more neighborhoods you want to talk to? Do you want to hear here? Let's go back to you and I here. Do you want to hear about more neighborhoods? You throw in some comments. I want to hear from y'all. What else do you got for me, Ian? North versus south? I think you've said several times south is better, right?
No, I don't think I've said that ever. What's important is the tax rate, specifically because this is a tax related conversation. So I think when you look at a lot of these areas, a lot of these suburbs, the tax rate is typically higher than Austin proper. So it's really nice when you can find neighborhoods where the tax rate is similar or only marginally higher, especially knowing that the tax rate in Austin proper may increase.
Right. Yeah. And that's why, I've done a bunch of different videos on tax rates and things like that. It's a challenge when you're buying a home out here and then you have a 3% tax rate and then you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was going to be that big, that high. And I think that's, that's why we do fun channels like this. So JSTRX said, appreciate the information, especially about the homestead. Was wondering about Prop 8 boundaries. Hope we can learn some definitive answers soon. So here's what I pull up. This is the city council district map. So this is, if you're going just off of, if this is it, which I'm not saying it is, I don't think it is. I think it might cover the ETJs, but if you're not in one of these areas, it's not. So kind of like this Westlake area at Cuernavaca. This is Cuernavaca right here. I'm going out to Bee Cave. Lakeway, none of this is covered, but it's in Travis County. So if it is Travis County, then, you're still taxed. Now
It's
I
nice
bought
a little cutout around Westlake. How did that work out?
Yeah, right. But they also have a 1.7%. Yeah, 1.79, 1. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I bought an investment property. Whoa, chill out. I bought an investment property right literally there. Boom. I hope 1.8% tax rate.
Man, that is right on the border. Good job.
Look at that. Like right here. Boom. I bought an investment property right on this street right here.
Nice.
Look at that. So if I am out, if this is it, then this property is in good shape. My other property, geez, come on now. My other property is right here.
Oh, yep.
I live in this neighborhood, and boom, like we are just. If I lived in the green space right here, or if I lived, this is Shady Hollow. Like this is crazy. This is Shady Hollow. So if this is true, then part of Shady Hollow does not pay this tax. So there you go. But if you go up north, part of this 130 is you're in a Manor here now. Yep. You're in Manor territory. So part of Manor is in fact, and then like how are these drawn? Like,
and the Pflugerville up there.
Look, I'm a geography major, right? Who the heck does these gerrymandering like?
Right.
How does this like? Why is number 4? Okay, I'd imagine it goes by population. Jeez, this site's fast. But how does number 4, District 4, only have this? I know it's like a dense populace here, but that's very tiny. And then District 10 gets all of this, but they didn't get part. Yeah, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But I mean, so yeah, and then going up to Pflugerville, part of Pflugerville, like this is South Austin, like this is part of Pflugerville-ish, and then I've always told people I've always told people to buy in this area right here. There's some really good, the tax rate's low, 1.91. In fact, I was telling somebody today, this is a good spot to buy in. They're looking for investment property. Yeah. That's a good spot to buy in too. I mean, but if you're not in the tax rate, then boom. So this is why when we're talking about this video and then doing this video, I did some research in here. You have Parker. Hold on. In this area, you have.
That last one was the Wells Branch area.
Wells Branch area. Yeah. Well, there's a neighborhood that I've told people to purchase in. It's called Preston Village.
Yeah.
They have a new build.
A new build community. Preston.
Yeah. Yep. But the prices in there are crazy now. So, I mean, I saw prices at 380 2 years ago. I had a client buy an investment property in there for 300. The new builds are going for 380. Now they're like just at 5, which is crazy. But so this little pocket right here, you have Presidio, Lakeline Station, part of not Avery Ranch, but Palmer Village. And those are all 2.1, which is this little area here, 2.1 to 2.2 tax rate. So that's crazy. Oh, look at this. Super sticker, Pima. Wow. I didn't even know people had the availability to like shoot me money on here. Thank you, Pima. But beers on me. For there to be an ETJ so close to West Austin, where the $1 million home seems. You're very correct. In fact, I've done quite a few videos and we've talked about Westlake.
Yep.
I mean, what's crazy about it, think about it though. Look at this map. Who's affected by it? So if you are a millionaire on a, I guess you don't have to be a millionaire, but if you have a multi-million-dollar home, you are in the tax district right here. And then you jump off. These are all still multi-million-dollar homes.
Yep.
But if you're on the lake, you're still getting that tax.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting that money.
As you're off, though. I mean, that's still a very, very affluent section of Austin.
I mean, you're talking everything in here's minimum $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I almost want to say minimum 1.5. I've seen, I had a client want to write an offer on a $1.8 million almost tear down in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, when you have the Minister of Culture living there, the UT Minister of Culture.
Yeah. Really? That's where they live?
Yeah.
Maria asked again where I can locate if your existing home exemption. Maria, one question. Are you in Williamson? Where did she set something up
She's
here
a
earlier?
Manor. She said Manor girl. Well, she said move to Manor. That doesn't mean she lives there.
Okay, so if you're in Manor, then you're going to be in Travis County. So go to Travis County. Will you pull up Travis County? If you pull up Travis County, that way she can see it. That'd be great. She'd probably appreciate that. Okay, so, but yeah, so that's the crazy part about this whole thing. Gosh, I wish this wouldn't move so fast. But look at this little sliver in section 2. Like, what is even there in that sliver? Like, is it just a river? You get the river part of you? But yeah, and then if you go out and then look, that's crazy. So the airport's right here.
Mhm.
So we're just saying if this is the map, you know, this section part north of the map, yeah, so this is right here is right where Tesla is. Tesla's right here. If they would have got on the other side, they could have got some of that non Prop A money.
Mhm.
They probably got pretty good. Oh, here we go. Out of stream. There you go. Okay, so for Maria Min, for Travis County, we're going to show you how to check to see if you have a homestead.
Yeah, so you just put in your tcad.org, click property search. All right, give me a Preston Village or something. Jeremy, give me some property.
Oh,
There's got to be a Smith in here.
yeah, let's see. Let's see. Well, let's just find one that's on the MLS.
There you go. I got a Smith. John Paul. Let's see. John Paul. Here we go. So I've got this up, this John Paul Smith. And here's the property. So it's in Pflugerville. No exemption.
Pflugerville, so no tax. Okay. That one has no tax exemption.
No homestead exemption. And it's in Falcon Point. Yeah, that's interesting that there's no homestead on there.
Well, it could be. Look at the address of where the. Oh, don't show them the address. Sorry.
Yeah. It could be an investment property or something.
Like investment property. Yeah. Okay. So here's a good question. How about Manchaca? So, sorry. What do we call that here in Austin? Manchaca.
Yeah, Manchaca.
Let's go back to my. So we were just talking about this a second ago. Where are we? Where's Manchaca? So Manchaca is this area south right here. Since it's not, and it's part of the ETJ, it's up in the air. The train is going to stop right here. The current building is coming into Goodnight Trail, which is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, see, this is all where Goodnight Trail is, and there's going to be a train line in Goodnight Trail. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Ian has the perfect walls for a green screen. Great job, guys. Ian, you do have beautiful walls back there. So yeah, so so I'm not saying this is, but if this is, because it's not in a tax district, but it is an Austin address, right? These are Austin address, unless you are Manchaca, then yeah, Manchaca. I don't think Manchaca is going to be in it anyway, or Manchaca, but yeah, but this area right here is considered Manchaca too, or Manchaca. So Manchaca. So there you go. What do you think about New Lagoon they're building in Leander? That's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's similar to the Domain. It depends on what other industry comes around it, right? So if you can have a body of water, or you can have something fun to do, but it's all the shops and the things around it that start to bring up the property value, and if it's mixed use, right?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, I lived in Phoenix, and they brought in the stadium, the Cardinal Stadium, out towards the east side or west side, and they brought in a ton of things to do. So it wasn't just the stadium itself that helped property values there. It was all the stuff that they brought in around it, all the infrastructure. So yeah, I think it will. The New Lagoon will definitely bring up property values, but it's gonna be a while before that's done. So yeah. Maria, man, I hope that helped, Maria. You're welcome. Cool. Well, we've been at it for 2 hours now, man.
That's it.
2 hours. We'll wait to the 2 hour mark so we can like go off on a 2 hour mark. So any parting words for all the wonderful people that have joined us, the two wonderful people that Tony and Pima. I think, oh wait, there's a $2.99 sticker on there.
I know. What is
Charles,
that?
I missed that. Charles, are you
right.
too, man?
We got to do one of these on my channel. I want a $2.99 sticker.
Charles, I apologize, man. I apologize for that. Development, infrastructure, roads, and power and stuff. Hectic energy. Just I'm gonna go to Houston, not watch an Astros game because they're cheaters, and hang out with Hectic Energy. So,
nice. Oh,
by the way, my undershirt. I didn't want to wear this the whole time and offend people, but got my Dodgers gear underneath. You're welcome. All right, cool. There we go. Ian of Austin, your YouTube channel, Ian of Austin, right?
Very simple, yeah. I try to make it easy for people.
Instagram, you can find him on there. You're already on my channel, so you found me. Please share with your friends and family members and everyone. If you haven't checked out Ian's channel, check out his channel. He will be on again for sure. Ian and I are good friends, so we'll go. We're good. That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it. All right, bye.